Hi, I'm Mike.
And I'm Larry.
Welcome to MANOPOD,
a podcast dedicated to men over 50.
Brought to you by Manopause.com.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Manopause.com's Manopods. Today, we are extremely honored to have with us Gideon Meyer. He is a conservationist and safari owner in Africa. Right now, he's coming to us from Pretoria, South Africa. He's normally in Botswana, where he does most of his gaming work. He has a safari company. They do photographic safaris, no hunting, just looking. And he specializes in animal conservation, wildlife, and natural environment education in Southern Africa. So Gideon, it's a real honor to have you with us today.
Thank you very much.
Hey, I want to tell the story real quickly about how we met, because, I mean, you're at the other end of the world, right? But Facebook really brings you closer together. And I was joining this group. And as a group member, it's a worldwide group, I started seeing you posting these phenomenal pictures of wildlife. And that is near and dear to my heart because I've gone on several safaris in my life and been blessed to do so. And when I saw that, I immediately contacted you, and you were gracious enough to contact me back. And that's how this whole thing started. And now we're really getting involved with you in a much broader sense of not just looking at your pictures, but really getting involved with you as a safari owner, and also as a conservationist, because we're totally into animals. And if you look at our Give Back page, it's all about animals, right? Most of it. And so anyway, we're welcoming you and thank you so much for being part of this. We know we're burning daylight where you are in Pretoria, so we'll make this. We'll get started really quickly here. So just tell us a little bit about you and how you got started.
Well, basically, it is a family trade. I was born in a family where wildlife was always been number one. Spend hours and hours driving around in the Kruger National Park, living in the Kruger National Park, growing up in the Kruger National Park. Parents, grandfather, they were all in the Kruger National Park. So it was basically sort of natural that it would have flowed into my blood. And now my whole life is being dedicated to the animals and to their plight and to conservation, trying to make life better for our animals.
So worldwide, there has been a movement to stop poaching of these animals, and I would imagine it's sort of like the drug trade, that unless you diminish the desire for it and the people who are on the receiving end of it, it's very hard to stop the people who are the suppliers, because there'll always be suppliers if there's a demand. And we have this horrible picture, sadly, that you sent us. We're going to show our audience of a rhino whose horn has been basically surgically removed to be used in Asia for, male enhancement and God knows what else. And in the meantime, the poor animal perishes. So tell us about your fight against poaching and how difficult it's been.
Poaching in Africa, specifically around animals like rhinos and elephants, are extremely difficult. It is becoming a very big problem. We are losing round about, if I'm talking about rhinos at the moment, we're losing about one rhino every 8 hours, every single day of our lives in Africa, in Southern Africa. Elephants, we are losing around 100 elephants a day. If you calculate that, that is about 36,000 elephants a year that we are losing purely for the horn and for the tusks. The rest of the animal is left behind to decay, and it is really a big problem for us. In the case of rhinos, very often the females have got the biggest horns. Uh, the males, they use the horns to fight and to rub against the ground and things like that. So the horns are much shorter. So the females have got these massive horns, which is really worth quite a lot. So when they shoot these animals, they and most of the time that female would have a calf with her. She would be pregnant. So they kill 3 generations in one go, which is really sad. And we've only got about 17,000 rhinos left in the wild. At the rate that it's going now, within the next 10 years or so, we will not have any rhinos left. Elephants, we used to have in the 1970s, we had 1.5 million elephants in Africa. At the moment, we are standing at about 350,000 elephants. If you look at 36,000 elephants a year, you can make your own little calculation, and it's not very long before all of them will be gone as well.
That is
they
so
just
sad.
shoot animals, cut off the horns. Some of the animals not even dead. We find them walking around dazed and in pain weeks after the accident, the incident. The wounds are infected. They cannot eat. It is really a very, very sad situation. And yes, all of this sadly goes to Asia. It is a huge market in Asia. It is not only for medicinal use anymore, but now it's more of a status symbol. You can pay up to $75,000 for a kilo of rhino horn at the moment in Asia. So it is more status symbol, and the people don't really know where this horn is coming from. There was a lady, for instance, who was so proud because her kids gave her this present of rhino horn jewelry, and she was ecstatic about it. And she said, but it shows how their children love her. And the interviewer said to her, but you know how this rhino was killed? And she said, it doesn't matter. It's the love of her children that is really making it worth her while. So that is the thing. And when you talk to people, when I get people in for my safaris and I start talking about poaching, the first thing they would say to me is but is poaching such a big problem, because we didn't know that there is so much poaching.
Right.
So ignorance is at the moment probably the biggest thing which we need to address. And the only way we can address that whole situation is by talking about it, by showing people the bad things, like that photo you've got about the rhino. You know, we can say the rhino is shot and killed. That is nothing. But if you start seeing what it looks like,
Right.
that shock, that is what we need.
So yeah, we hope that we can bring this out globally and keep the dialogue going, because it is a sad thing, and people need to understand it and be informed. So thank you for what you're doing. We appreciate that, and we will help in any way that we can to get the word out on a global arena. Okay.
And what we're hoping is, by showing your photographs of these, magnificent animals in the wild, it will raise awareness that we've got to do whatever we can to, preserve them. Like that little animal you got right there. Is that your kitty cat?
My kitty cat, yes. People call me the animal whisperer, and all the cats and everything just comes to me. So
that's great. All right. Well, you know what? Let's actually take a little break here, because this is a perfect time to take a break. And then when we come back, what we're going to do is we're going to show some of the pictures, the magnificent pictures that makes everybody, very happy to see. So we'll be right back.
Hi, this is Larry and Mike.
Poaching is a horrible and preventable crime that is devastating the wild animal population in Africa, particularly elephants and rhinos.
We at Manopause.com are asking for your help to protect Africa's wildlife and end the scourge of poaching.
Here are two organizations you can donate to. The Sheldrick Wildlife Trust operates the most successful orphaned elephant rescue and rehabilitation program in the world. Working across Kenya, their projects include anti-poaching, safeguarding the natural environment, enhancing community awareness, addressing animal welfare issues, providing veterinary assistance to animals in need, and rescuing and hand-rearing elephants and rhinos.
The Boucher Legacy is an organization dedicated to preserving rhinos in the wild. They work to prosecute poachers, protect and preserve the dwindling rhino population, and educate the public about the costly myths surrounding rhino horns. Go to manopause.com/give to donate to these amazing organizations.
Please help save these precious animals. Donate today. manopause.com/give. Thank you.
And we're back with Gideon Meyer. He is in South Africa, so it's getting a little dark there. Nevertheless, we're going to continue now where we're going to talk about a couple of pictures in general that you took that are absolutely spectacular of elephants and I think you say zebras at a water hole. And we want to kind of know how did you get those pictures?
Okay, the elephants, around our winter time, which is between March and August, we do not have much water around here. It's our dry season, it's winter time. So most of the animals are coming down to the water. This specific photo I took in Botswana, where I am generally based. And the one afternoon, well, virtually all afternoons, we have in an excess of about 500 elephants coming down to this waterhole. This is one of the only waterholes in around about a 60-kilometer radius. And they always come out late afternoon to come and have their daily drink. They need to have a drink once a day. And this particular afternoon, it just happened that the sunlight was just perfect. All the elephants just came in at the right time. And it was probably one of my best sightings ever of elephants.
It truly is magnificent.
I even get goosebumps now just thinking about this amazing sight. The elephants were just coming in all the time, moving in, trumpeting, getting down to the water, having a swim, and moving back out again. And it just went on and on and on. And it is just one of the most amazing things. We are very lucky in Botswana to have quite a big population of elephants. The elephants are free moving. It's not like in Southern Africa, South Africa, where they are all in parks. So in Botswana, they are still freely moving around, which makes it so much nicer. And the places where we go, you sleep at night, and the elephants are coming, walking through your camping site, and it's just one of those.
Is there elephant etiquette? Like, does one group get their business done and move out, and another group comes in, or they all try to jam in there?
You know what? It's amazing if you sit and watch them. It's like a well-organized, orchestrated airport. A group of elephants would be moving into the water. They would start drinking. The next group would be then coming in. As they move in, the matriarch will give a low rumble, announcing that this group is coming in. The group that has come first to the water, she will rumble back, the matriarch. She will then get the rest of the herd to quickly finish up drinking. While they are doing that, the second group in the row waiting to go in, they will be standing there, not eating or anything, just waiting silently and quietly.
Respectful.
As soon as the group is finished drinking water, the matriarch will rumble, she will move out, and the next group comes in. And they've got an amazing etiquette, especially the breeding herds, the females with the calves. The males, they just normally move in and out as they want.
Typical.
They don't really have that.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, right.
That's
Tell us about your sexy zebras or zebras.
My sexy zebras, I love them to bits. It is probably just one of the animals that you can never fail with a photograph. They are always nice and fat. They've got this beautiful shining coat, and those stripes are just amazing. The photo I've got there is also of the zebra migration in Botswana. They migrate every year. They've got a migration route from the Chobe down to the Mababe Depression, and also then back again, following the water and the grazing. So at any given time, you would probably have about 1,000 zebra moving through at the day, coming past the water holes and then moving down into the Mababe or coming back again.
so, some of your other photographs seem to be a little bit more dicey. Like there's one that we're going to be showing our audience of a cheetah that is sort of chowing down on some prey that it caught. And in the background, we see this suspicious looking rhino. And in the series of pictures that you took, the rhino kind of chased the cheetah away. Now, how did you stay incognito when you were taking that picture?
That's probably, again, one of my nicest film shoots ever. It's two of our most endangered species coming together in a very unusual way. Normally, rhinos would just ignore this kind of behavior or any other animals and just move around. I was lucky to be standing there waiting, found the cheetah on the kill. The kill was just made, so she was still resting a little bit. And then she started eating, and from the back, I just saw these two rhinos coming in. Now, rhinos don't have a very good eyesight. They've got excellent hearing. So they probably knew that there was something, but they couldn't really figure out what it was. So they started moving closer. It wasn't more like they wanted to chase her away. They were just more curious and to see what was happening. I was sitting in my vehicle, about 50 meters away from this entire episode happening. When the rhino started moving closer, I actually got out of my vehicle and went down under the vehicle to get sort of eye level with what is happening. And that's why I've got the rhino literally right at the top from this cheetah.
Yeah.
It was actually one of the most amazing things ever happening.
Wow.
Yeah, because they're herbivores, right? It's not like they wanted to eat that. They don't eat animals.
No, rhinos, white rhinos, which these ones specifically in these photos are, they are complete, or they are only grazers. They only eat grass. So they just wanted to see what was happening there. They probably smelled that there was something there, so they just moved closer to have a look. The cheetah was a little bit intimidated by these two big things coming
Smart
closer.
cheetah.
They were probably about 5 or 6 meters away from her, and then they just turned around and walked off, and she started eating again.
That's great. That's great.
Crazy. So one of the questions we have is, what's the dangers that you face out there in the bush? Because as you say, all of these animals are wild as far as there is no restrictions for them so they can roam. What's the most dangerous situation you've ever been in?
Yes. I was a head ranger in one of the big game reserves close to, which is part of the Greater Kruger National Park. Head ranger there meant that I had quite a lot of responsibilities. One of them was, of course, anti-poaching. And whenever you see vultures coming down, the first thing you think about is something has been poached. We need to go and have a look. I was driving that afternoon. I was going on to a 7-day leave cycle, and I saw these huge amount of vultures coming down. And I thought, okay, this must be something big. It can only be one of our rhinos that has been poached. I need to go and have a look. Not thinking about lions. The lions we did find the previous night about 15, 20 kilometers away. So I really didn't think it was lions at all. Got out of the vehicle because we do not drive into the bush, purely to keep the bush as natural as possible. So I started walking in, saw the vultures, went to where the vultures were sitting. I couldn't see anything. Started walking back to the car. I looked back and I saw, no, but there are more vultures in the back and a little bit further in. So I turned around and I started walking again. And as I got about 15 meters away from the kill, I suddenly heard this massive growling sound, and this huge male was just coming for me. Luckily, there was a big marula tree just standing right next to me. I just sort of moved behind it and stood there very still. This male lion just came up to where I was standing, started sniffing around ground. He didn't see me because I was now behind the tree, and he slowly moved back to the kill. It turned out that it was the pride of lions that took down a zebra. I had to go back to the lodge to get some sugar water. and
change your underwear probably too, right? Yeah.
The guys that I was thinking about, what is wrong with you? You are extremely pale. And I said to them, well, I almost had my last day today. Know, and that is the thing about the bush. You can never become too blasé a bush. The moment that you walk into the bush thinking that you know everything, that is the day that you are going to be killed. So you always have to be extremely careful about things like that.
Right. Wow. So what's the next picture, Larry?
The next picture we're going to show our people is it's two lion pictures, which is great after that story. One is this beautiful, tender moment of a lioness and a lion laying together, which I don't think anybody's ever seen, really. And then the second picture is going to give them an idea of what you saw coming at you, which is the lion picture standing there proud, just looking for somebody's ass to kick. And so again, how did you get those? Especially the picture of the lion standing there. It seems like you were really close. How do you manage to get? I mean, I imagine you have a great telephoto lens, but still, how do you manage to get such beautiful, clear, close-up pictures like that?
You know, when you are in a vehicle, you can actually get very, very close to lions. They do tend to see the vehicle only and not the person in the vehicle, although it's not always a rule, but that is mostly what happens. The specific day, it was, you can hear the zebras calling in the back there. Yes. There they go. In any case, so the specific day, it was late afternoon, the sun was almost setting, and that is the time when you start to get your lions moving around. And I was just lucky to come around a corner, and this lion was actually standing on an anthill very close to the road, a termite hill, and he was marking his territory. He was actually spraying the bush that you see there just behind him.
Wow.
So I got to about 10 meters away from him. He was standing, he was a little bit higher than me in the vehicle, completely open vehicle. There's no roof, no nothing. Mike, I think you know how the safari vehicles look like.
Oh, yeah.
So, yes, I was just very, very, very lucky to get him. As I stopped there, he was just finished spraying. He looked sort of over my vehicle, and he just burst out roaring. And it was just one of the most amazing moments of my life.
It's a beautiful picture. Yeah, it's a beautiful picture. Yes. It puts in perspective the story you were just telling about the danger. Right. You know, people see things like that and they might think, well, I could just run away, or I could climb a tree, or whatever. But they're huge, muscular animals with gigantic paws and stuff. I mean, if they get you, they got you. You ain't getting away.
Oh, no, there's no way that you'll get away. I mean, those paws are the size of a dinner plate. He weighs around about 260 kilos, 270 kilos, and it's just pure muscle.
Yeah.
There's nothing that you can do. When he gets you, you are gone.
You're gone.
Amazing. So we see we're burning daylight, like it's pitch black now where you are. And so we'll conclude with you talking about my Kisi safaris and how people, when COVID's gone and people are traveling again, how they can go out and and come and see you and be part of the safari. I'm sure it's on everybody's bucket list. I know it was on mine, and I can't wait. I'm addicted to it now, so I can't wait to go again. So tell us a little bit about Meyer and Kisi and what people are going to see when they're with you on your safari, and then we'll put a link to it. And we'll also talk about how this is going to be a continuing series about talking with you and about what people can do to be part of a safari, and also what we can do to save the rhinos and save the elephants. And
Yes.
so tell us about Kisi.
Okay, Mr. Kisi, he is actually right here as well. I think you might want to see him as well. He is my partner in crime. I hope you can see him.
Yeah, I am, sir.
Just come closer to the light. There is Mr.
Ah,
Kisi.
there he is.
Oh,
Yes.
Yes, I'm a tracker for him. It's my professional. So I
Ah.
do everything which is in need I can do.
All right. Well,
So
good.
yes,
to
we are partners in this business. We are a professional little team, which it's only the two of us, plus
Mhm.
our admin guy who is helping us. So we are actually a three-man team. We are a very small company. We keep it small because, of course, we want to keep it personal. The moment it becomes too big, it becomes very tiresome. You don't give that personal attention to people. You can't give that special little bit of extra info to people so much. We are still a young company. We have been together for quite a long time. We've been working for ages together. MP grew up in Botswana, so he grew up in the middle of the wildlife as well. He knows as much about animals as me. So we are a very good team. We specialize in smaller groups, but we do big groups as well. That is not a problem. But we do our safaris mostly in Botswana and in Southern Africa. Southern Africa, we tour the Kruger National Park, all the major parks in the Kruger National Park, the northern parts of KwaZulu-Natal, and we spend a lot of time there. And what we are doing is, our motto is that it's not about the big five. The big five is the bonus. It's teaching our guests from the smallest little thing, from the soil, the type of soil, what's happening, why it is like this, up, and all of that leads up to the big five. So we spend a lot of personal time. We make all the food ourselves. We spend a lot of time around campfires talking about our amazing escapes, hair-raising moments we had. Yes, unfortunately now with COVID, we are stuck.
Right.
And like with everything else, the tourism business in the southern African areas is now very badly hit. Everything is closed down. A lot of the companies are actually closing down. We have no idea when it will be opening up again. There are talks that it will open up in September. So we hope that soon we would start getting in our guests and we can show them our magical world out here in Africa. It's really really amazing place to come to. The animals are Africa is just so different.
It is. There's an energy there. There's an energy there that is, you can't even explain it. Even in Uganda, when Larry and I went to Uganda the last time, in Africa, there is an energy and a spirit that comes out of you that is just so breathtaking and so personal that
Yes.
you can't even explain it to people. You just have to experience it. And we can't wait. I knew in September, which would be kind of interesting is when you're back doing your safaris, if maybe we could interview a couple of your guests and we could do a podcast with them and just,
That would be
get
nice.
their feeling about it. That'd be awesome.
What's
That would
what's
be
the
awesome.
what's the ideal number of people? Like Manopause.com, when we can travel again, is going to organize our safari with you. What's the ideal number of people that would be good to bring?
Look, I mean, we say small groups, around about from anything from 12, 15 to about 20.
Okay.
That is still nice and small. We can still have our personal touch with everybody there. We have both. I've got more than 25 years of experience in the bush. I was born in the bush. I grew up in the bush. The same with MP. So we've still got that personal touch with those people. So 20 would be a nice number. Preferably less, but we can still go up to about 20.
Yeah, that's
Then
perfect. So,
it becomes
And do they camp out with you? Do you set up tents? How does that work? Where do they stay?
we normally, if it's in the Botswana area, the Botswana tourism is quite a very expensive sort of destination. So there we would be doing camping. We'll have vehicles with rooftop tents, although none of the camps are enclosed, so the animals are walking freely through the camps. But it's an amazing experience. I mean, you lie there, the lion is right next to the vehicle roaring. So we will have quite a few vehicles with tents. In Southern Africa, the infrastructure is much better. It's a little bit cheaper. So we do mostly chalets in the Kruger National Park. Beautiful round chalets with thatched roofs and things like that. So that is more what we do.
So,
but we cater for if you want to camp, that you can do. If you want to spend a little bit more luxury, then we do the luxury thing.
yeah,
Right.
well, what we want to do as we wrap this up is obviously this is going to be one of many podcasts that we want to do with you, because we just barely scratched the surface. But what we want to emphasize to our audience is not only the beauty of these animals that you're taking care of and capturing on film, but the importance of the anti-poaching stuff. And so we're gonna put on our website a link to an organization that is going to help with the anti-poaching, where they can give money to help with this. And also, when we do organize one of these trips, a portion of that is going to go towards those organizations as well, because I think you're right. I think the key to stopping poaching is education. And the more we can get people behind this, I think the better in the end that it's going to be. So we definitely want you to come back for another podcast. And we're going to show as many of your pictures on this one as we can, but you have millions of them. So, and then people can follow you on Facebook too, right?
Yes, they can follow me on Facebook, yes.
And how do they find you? Gideon Meyer?
My Facebook page is Gideon Meyer, DeonMeyer, Meyer. I need to change it though, because I've got a very well-known author who's also called Gideon Meyer, so we are clashing a little bit. So I will definitely have to change it to Gideon Meyer. Yes.
Well, and we'll keep everybody informed about that. But this has been amazing, and thank you for being with us. Thank you for Mike for getting in contact with you. I mean, I think it's meant to be, and so we hope everybody's enjoyed this. We're going to be doing more with Gideon in the future. But join us again next time for another Manopause.com podcast.
Hi, this is Larry and Mike.
Poaching is a horrible and preventable crime that is devastating the wild animal population in Africa, particularly elephants and rhinos.
We at Manopause.com are asking for your help to protect Africa's wildlife and end the scourge of poaching.
Here are two organizations you can donate to. The Sheldrick Wildlife Trust operates the most successful orphaned elephant rescue and rehabilitation program in the world. Working across Kenya, their projects include anti-poaching, safeguarding the natural environment, enhancing community awareness, addressing animal welfare issues, providing veterinary assistance to animals in need, and rescuing and hand-rearing elephants and rhinos.
The Boucher Legacy is an organization dedicated to preserving rhinos in the wild. They work to prosecute poachers, protect and preserve the dwindling rhino population, and educate the public about the costly myths surrounding rhino horns. Go to manopause.com/give to donate to these amazing organizations.
Please help save these precious animals. Donate today. manopause.com/give. Thank you.